about coming to the college scene, particularly as a Norfolk State?
What excites me is being with these guys. Watching these guys every day commit, lay it all out on the line. We had an awesome spring, and getting to know everybody was the most important thing. But teaching them how to go out and compete, be men, and enjoy, all the sacrifices, everything that they're laying out on the line right now. So, creating that brotherhood, creating that family atmosphere, and ultimately for me, it's about competing. And like I said, getting them ready to compete, being able to compete with the men in this room. I think we got to thank God every day for the opportunities that He put in front of us.
Coach, after the spring game, we talked about firsts. How it's the season of firsts for you. What's this first like, being part of Media Day? It's probably the biggest one the conference has had for football. What's that like for you?
Well, I'll say this is definitely not my first Media Day. It's been a couple over the years, outside of being a coach, from being a player, so I can kind of relate to what's going on. Excited for these two, excited for DreSean, and excited for Kahleef, having the chance to experience this. The team captains, they are leaders, and for them to be here representing Norfolk State means a lot. So it's a first for them, but first for me, and I'm very comfortable sitting here with these two.
What have you learned about yourself as a coach since spring ball started?
I learned that I can do it. I learned that it's always the fear of the unknown, the things that you don't know, the things that you step into. And I'm always the guy who walk by faith, and so players certainly made it easy. I think it was about creating trust, not only with the players but with my coaches as well, seeing what's happening, understanding what it takes on a day-to-day basis to keep a team functioning and functioning properly. So we believe in each other. We're excited, and we're ready to compete.
Was there like an aha moment of sorts in spring ball where you're like, oh, I can't do this? Was there anything that like? Yeah,
I would say around the third scrimmage, the second and third scrimmage we had. Can't remember in what order, but I just seen everybody gel together, and like I told them at the end of the spring, if I could look into the future and we had a crystal ball and see, what I wanted everything to look like, it was picture perfect. We performed, we committed. Man, these dudes, man, they could been committed since January. I'm talking about, in the freezing cold, rain, sleet, snow, outside. Just doing what they got to do to make it to the spring, to make it a success. And so I don't think they're surprised of how good we can be and seeing the potential. So we just we taking it one day at a time. We committed to that. We taking it one practice at a time and one snap at a time. And so that's going to be our mantra moving forward.
Coach Vick, how much of a learning experience has this been for you coming to a head coaching experience? And obviously with NIL, there's all these rules and stuff like that. Now, how much of a learning experience has it been for you?
It's been a major learning experience. It's a lot to learn, and you got to do things under the right rules and regulations, under the guidelines, and understand exactly how it has to be done on a day-to-day basis, and having like-minded coaches like me around, having great coaches, great assistant coaches, great position coaches who understand the landscape, who can help me on a day-to-day basis as I, go into a situation that's, different for me. But, ultimately, throughout the years of playing and my playing experience and, feeling like a coach on the field over the years, I've been able to adapt really quickly. And so we feel like, as family, as coaches, we all got to lead together. And so it's not just Coach Vick, it's Coach Shepard, it's Coach Garvin, it's Coach Woodbury, it's Coach Kendrick. We all feel like we know that we have to play a major role in the development of these young men. And so as long as they buy in, our job will be easy. And I won't always say it's all about wins and losses, but for us, it's about wins, but it's about what type of young men they go off to be in this world when it's all said and done. So that's just as important.
At this point, go ahead.
DreSean, you've had a lot of football coaches in your life, I'm sure. None of them probably have the profile and experience that playing that Michael has. What's it been like for you? What's the atmosphere like around the team? And what's kind of the last 6 months been like?
The last 6 months have been great. Just working, new team, a lot of new faces, just learning, trying to do the right thing, set a good example, and there's a lot of excitement around the team this year. So we know we got to be ready to do our part.
Coach, with your playing experience that you've had over your career, how beneficial has that been, being able to kind of parlay those experiences to your players? How much they appreciate that?
Yeah, and I think we haven't even scratched the surface of my experience, because I don't want to always, throw my personal experiences at them, even though it's going to come out at times, and it has to. Most important, I wanted to get to know them. I wanted them to know that I was committed, and develop the personal relationships. And so, we have one-on-one conversations. I try to get to know everybody on a day-to-day basis, but they'll understand, the experience that I've been through, the experiences that I had. They probably already know everything about me. With today's social media, internet, YouTube, Google, all that, which is a cool thing. So, we'll have a lot of experiences to draw off of, not only myself, but all our coaches as well.
What do you want them to know about you that they might not know already?
Even though they're learning me, I want them to know always and forever that I'm just as committed to this as they are. I see the sacrifice and the hard work that they put in, and behind the scenes, I'm sacrificing, I'm putting in the hard work as well. So when they're in their little huddle, when they gathered up and they got their little break or their little chant, and they commit, they know us as coaches, we're very committed as well. So it goes both ways. We can't do it without each other. So I got to get them to buy in, and vice versa. And so I believe in them and trust in them, and they're gonna believe in me and trust in me.
Why was it the time, and why was it the time, and why was it the place
The time was everything. Like I said before, some things just fall into place. If this was another school in a different territory, a different part of the U.S., I might not have took the job. It was other opportunities on the table by this being in my backyard, and knowing the history of Norfolk State, knowing that they needed to reset, they needed to reboot. Doing my research and finding out before DreSean got there, knowing guys like Kahleef, was there, they were committed, and they just needed structure, more leadership, needed some change. And so I looked at it as a challenge. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, especially my first day when I walked in, seeing these guys out in the field working out. I knew we had a long way to go, but over the last 6 months, I seen transformations from the mind, body, and soul, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, they look different, they act different, they speak different, talk different. There's more confidence, and so that's what we're trying to instill in them. That each and every day when you wake up, you're working towards a purpose, and they're going to be successful.
I know you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry about that. I know that you guys still have camp to go, but are you chomping at the bit to play some games? It's been kind of a long process. You're chomping at the bit to get out there and see what you guys can do.
Yeah, we got to take it one day at a time, though. The next 28 days you got to make them count. You're not going to count them, if that makes sense. I don't know where that just came from, but hey, don't count the days, make them count. And each and every day is going to be a day where we're going to put in work. And then the other team that our opponent, they're going to show up. And the 28th is right around the corner, but in the meantime, we're going to make sure we do everything in our power to equip them to make sure that they're ready to go. And all we got to do is lay it out, man, and watch them go execute.
You're taking over the program. There's been an increased attention on you guys. I'm curious, how do you allow, for your players to stay focused on the task at hand, day in, day out, with all the extra national attention and media?
I think that's been the coolest part, man. We have a group of young men who they understand the magnitude of the situation, but they also excited to be in the situation. It's like, now it's to a point, it's like, yo, coach is coach. They don't look at me as, maybe the first couple of weeks, that's natural. It's an honor, it's a privilege for me to be in their presence, and I know, and they always let me know that it's an honor for them to be in my presence. And so, we got past that part. Now we just, teammates, we're family, and we will be forever outside of football.
What are your cardinal principles? Like, you got 3 to 4 cardinal principles of your team to break it down and sum it up. What would they be? Like,
don't count the days, make the days count. Be committed. I think you can't accomplish anything in life. Wake up and commit yourself to doing it. Similar to just having a purpose and I want them to all just dream and think big. Sky's the limit for them. I think majority of the guys on my team can play on all levels. But we have to always keep our heads down and work towards that common goal. So don't count the days, stay committed, believe in yourself, believe in one another. Teamwork is going to be what makes all this work.
We have questions for players.
DreSean, following up on what Coach spoke earlier, I'm here from a player's perspective. What has it been like, I guess, adjusting to that media attention, and how different has it been, and what's that process been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's been different, coming from a different school where we didn't have a lot of media attention. Like, we know there's going to be a lot of eyes, so like, the pressure trying to be as perfect as possible, knowing that everybody's not going to be perfect, but just making sure that we're doing our part. And we know that all the attention that everybody wants, everybody wants their games to be packed, everybody wants the media there, so we just got to make sure that we're right so that, we win some games and have some fun doing it.
Coach says that you guys are getting used to it. Is that pretty accurate? You guys used to it now? Is it just kind of business as usual?
Yeah, I think the first few weeks, you kind of starstruck a little bit, but after that, and I always tell people, Coach is one of the most regular celebrities you'll ever meet, so him being like that, it made it easy. So really just blended in and became a family. So we're ready to get to work.
Was that surprising to you? He's just and what do you expect? Did you grow up watching him? What did you expect from him?
Coach and my dad played together at Tech, so I've known him for a little while.
I've known him since he was a kid.
Yeah. So he's always just been Uncle Mike to me, but. I can see where some of my teammates who probably just now meeting him are shocked by the fact that he's such a normal dude.
Well, Kahleef, how did you feel?
It's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm from Newport News, Virginia. I grew up watching Coach Vick. He's been an inspiration to everybody coming from where I come from. I thank God to be in this opportunity right now. Not only is it a blessing, but it's also inspiration. It's inspirational to play for someone who's made such a big impact on the game of football.
Hey, Kahleef, the same kind of thing for Coach. Are you kind of chomping at the bit to play some games now? I mean, you've gone through spring. I know you got camp yet, but ready to get out there and see what you guys can do?
Absolutely. I'm excited for the season. I think we got some very talented guys. I think coming together as a family is going to be very exciting.
For both of you guys, what's the most important thing so far that you've learned from Coach Vick?
Like you said, just taking it day by day, just putting one foot in front of the other, just keeping faith and just staying consistent, being consistent.
And for me, just believing that you can do it. We know that the cameras and everybody, the connects that he has, the eyes are going to be on us, so we just got to be ready to do our part.
From on the field standpoint, heading into fall camp, where do you feel like you guys are as a unit, and how much further are you looking to get over the next 2 years?
Well, I feel like we're a very competitive group. I feel like we're going to make teams have to earn everything. I feel like as the journey goes on, I feel like as we keep the main thing, we're going to be just fine.
DreSean, do you feel like, having known Coach Vick for some time, do you think it's some pressure playing for Uncle Mike, as you just kind of mentioned?
Well, not really. My dad was my coach growing up, so I'm used to having that pressure of trying to be one of the guys that does everything right all the time. And it's just like anything else, it comes with reps, so it's not anything new for me.
Coach, you played for Mike Tomlin, you played for Andy Reid. Do you take bits and pieces from those guys?
Absolutely. Every day. I mean, I try to go back to a moment when I was with Mike T, or go back to a moment when I was with Andy, or go back to a moment even dating back to Dan Reeves, who drafted me, and how they conducted their team meetings, how they addressed us, and what was I looking for when I was listening to them talk, or what did I take away from it? I'm so thankful to have so many coaches that poured into me, which made this experience that much easier now. Getting to the games, and that's going to be different. Preparation is something that I've always been comfortable with. So now it's just about living it out, and like Kahleef just said, and like we always talk about, just taking it one day at a time. It's a learning experience for us, and knowing that at the end of the day, man, we can draw from our experiences, and then we can get the best out of one another. So definitely having coaches who poured into me, who believed in me and trusted me in the process, is going to help me to do the same thing for our players and our coaches.
Have people always like
Yeah, I spoke to Andy. Andy's just so encouraging. Like he just believes that I'm gonna be able to get it done, that I'm gonna do well. And as men, as father figures, they always going, you're always gonna tell your son you're gonna do great. Just keep doing the right things, keep believing in yourself, and sometimes, when you're on the other side of it, when you're a player, you're like, now being a coach, it's like, yeah, coach, I still got to go do it, and so I've always had coaches who can see things in me that I couldn't see, the same way I see things in them that they probably can't see, and so that's what makes me so excited to be here with DreSean, be here with Kahleef, because they wouldn't be here if they wasn't two focal points and two staples on our team. The guys is going to be difference makers all across the board. So, I hope that I can continuously have an impact on them the same way my coaches had on me.
Have you and DreSean talked about the game in Philly at all? And I guess what was your first reaction when you heard about the idea?
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about it, not in detail. We just keep encouraging one another. Two first-year coaches, we played together, teammates, and can't believe we're here. Can't believe I'm sitting right here still. Can't believe he's over there. But yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting, and that was more so for our players. That was more so for the experience, for the MEAC conference, for Delaware State, for Norfolk State, for notoriety, for the cameras, like DreSean mentioned, for the opportunity. That's what this world is all about, man. It's all about creating opportunities, seizing the moment, seizing the opportunities, and of course, taking this job, I wanted to put them on the biggest stage as possible and watch them handle it, because it happened for me, and I want to do it for them.
We're going to have about three more minutes for questions. 3 more minutes for questions.
What does it mean for you to kind of go through this same experience with DreSean, given you got the friends and teammates, to go into this experience together, two first-year coaches?
Yeah, it's really cool, man. And for DreSean, man, I'll be rooting for him each and every week except for, that 1 week. And that's going to be really cool. But for us to be on this stage right now, for us to have this opportunity, I will say, definitely got to take it serious, got to be committed, and that's what we talked about. And so, being teammates, coaching DreSean, helping DreSean, teaching DreSean, I feel like I'm ready, and I feel in talking to him, I feel like he's ready as well. Playing quarterback, you kind of see everything, you see things from a different lens, and so I think DreSean is going to see things through the same lens in due time. So he's working hard, he believes in himself, he believes in his coaches, and that's where it starts.
Izzy said that you and his godfather Trevor know each other. How do you guys know each other? How do you guys meet?
Yeah, I've been knowing Izzy since he was about 11, 12 years old. My commuting out to California, his godfather Trevor, we was good friends, so he used to always tell me come watch Israel play. And me having nothing to do on Saturdays, I would always go out and watch some of his games on Saturdays or Friday nights. And it's kind of ironic that I'm coaching him now. That was like 7, 8 years ago. And man, it's just crazy and ironic how things work out, how God works. And so when I took the job, I started getting calls from everybody. Definitely had to go through the process of what I wanted our quarterback to look like, what I wanted the quarterback to be like I didn't want to try to necessarily go out and get a guy that could emulate me, but Izzy kind of fell into my lap, and so I'm excited to have him. Excited to have all the quarterbacks that we have, Otto and Parker. These guys they're working extremely hard to put themselves in the best position. I respect the hard work that they put into.
When you look at the overall landscape of the conference, what stands out to you about the league?
We got some great coaches in this conference. We got some coaches who are seasoned veterans who, kind of been in this thing for a while, understand what it takes to win. But it's our job to continue to be competitive and make the MEAC conference competitive. Norfolk State has been competitive, and watching our team last year, part of the reason I took the job is because I knew they could give a little bit more. And so, I feel like as the conference is growing, but it's certainly the coaches that's in this conference, I think, makes the conference. So I'm excited to be a part of that, and I know D-Jack will be well.
I wouldn't look too far in the future, but you don't want to look too far in the future. But we saw what Deion did in a short time at HBCU and raised his profile. Not that he needed his profile raised, but went to a big program. And I mean, where do you see Michael Vick, the head coach, in 4 years?
Hopefully winning MEAC championship. I think that's what's most important right now. I can't look into the future, even though I'm a future guy. I like to look into the future, and I even encourage them to look into the future, but I just can't see that far. I got to control what I can control, and I want my time with them to be filled with love, laughter, coaching, and it's going to be some days where it's going to be, it's going to be tough. It's going to be some days, and they know that, and I know that, and we're not going to be perfect, but if we don't make mistakes, then how can we get better on a day-to-day basis?
Last two questions.
I'm just thankful that we're in a position where we can grow. That's what's most important.
Coach Vick, is there a set number of wins the team is aiming for in 2025?
Win number one. I get that question all the time, but man, we can't do anything until we win our first game. And we talk about the record from last year and how we want to improve on that. But we know we got to get win number one first, and then we'll go from there.
Next question.
What's it like to see it from the inside out, pouring into the judgment? What's it like to be home, so to speak?
It's great to be home, and just in closing, Kahleef being from Newport News, watching him the opportunity to watch me play and grow, and then watching DreSean this guy just got chills from watching DreSean since he's been a toddler, and watching him grow and be committed in football and his journey, and I get a chance to coach him, and his dad is like one of my best friends. I'm trying not to get emotional, but us being able to go out and try to accomplish something together, win or lose, at the end of the day, when we when we gather up as a team, we know we laid it all out in line. And he just said it, DreSean just said it. We ain't taking no shortcuts. We believe in ourselves, and we're gonna trust the process. That's what we hammering that home. So I'm just thankful to be here, man, and I'm thankful that these guys are sitting here looking amazing and speaking very eloquently.
August 28th, 7 o'clock, Norfolk State Towson. That's our first game. Don't count the days, make the days count. Right. Check and see if that's trademark.